where we are living is directly influencing the type of work you are doing regularly and the type of people you are interacting daily. And so you need to be selective about the type of locality you want to live in, and you need to be precise about the type of city you want to live in. So instead of randomly selecting the city you want to live in, or even the country, you need to be selective about each and every aspect of your life, and you need to align the city which is helpful for your goals and for your future development. Let's say you are working on any kind of software field or any kind of computers AI field, then working in a city which is booming with computers AI generated models or focused mostly on AI quantum mechanics, then your career growth will be much faster, because you will be connected with a lot of people and companies who are working on a specific field. In the similar way, if you are working on some kind of architecture, or even if you are studying architecture, then your college needs to be in a certain locality. In other words, in your the place you live in is not ideal for your development to boom. So instead of focusing on the developments, you need to focus on the type of locality where you can flourish. Or let's say, imagine there is a garden, and in the garden there are a lot of flowers, trees, plants, and that garden is like the environment we live in. And instead of criticizing or complaining to the tree that it is not growing, you need to focus on the type of soil it needs, the type of environment it requires, the type of resources, water, sunlight it requires for it to develop. In a similar way, if you want to develop and if you want to become your best version, then you need to surround yourself with the type of environment which aligns with your long term goals, priorities, objectives. So instead of flowing against the wind or flow, you need to align with the flow that has been going on in the environment. So you need to pick the environment you want to live in, so that you can work in a better way possible. Or even personally, your environment needs to be harmonious to what you do and who you are, so that you can develop and work more better in that situation. In the other words, let's say you have set yourself a specific plan, and you need to execute that plan. And to execute that plan, you need to have that kind of environment resources. In the present moment, you don't have them, so you can choose that if you want to live in that certain space, or if you want to go to other locations. In the similar way, if your present location is aligned with your goals and objectives, then working there or even living there will be helpful for you in the long run. In the similar way, you need to be clear about what do you want, so that your environment is ideal for you. In other words, if you exactly know what you want, you can choose the type of environment you can live in, which helps you to grow in a much faster way, in a much further way, which will help you in the long run to develop much quicker. Let's say there is an environment which is helping you 10 times better, and there is another environment which is helping you to flourish 5 times better. In both instances, which environment do you choose? Obviously, the environment which is helping you to flourish or develop in a 10 times better way. When compared it with the long run, let's say you are working in a certain kind of career, like any kind of career, or computers or AI, at the age of 25. If you have started working in a kind of environment, and there is another person who is also working in different kinds of environment, when compared with the both of you, while both of you are doing the right things ethically and you're working hard and focusing on the field, while both of you are having or producing similar kind of efforts, but your environment will directly or indirectly influence the type of growth you are experiencing in the field, the type of money you are earning, the type of resources and opportunities you come in contact with. So instead of complaining about the not so good environment, if you can change your environment to the type of locality or the type of cities or even countries where your goals are aligned, then you can be in a better situation. In other words, let's say if your environment is harmonious to your goals and you are flourishing in the environment you are living in right now, then it is better for you to not change that place and live in some other place because it is giving you more money or you're earning more money. So you need to have a clear set of priorities for you to choose between the opportunities you have right now and in the coming future, because your environment will directly or indirectly influence the way you work, the type of people you come in contact with, your lifestyle, the type of work you do, or any kind of stuff. In one city there may be a lot of walking areas, there may be a lot of cycling areas. In other cities there may be a lot of urban space. In other cities there may be a lot of greenery. In other cities there may be a abundance in working opportunities. In other cities there is calm, peaceful environment, and you need to have a specific bit of priorities, and you need to see the projection of the city in the next 5, 10, 20 years, because you are going to work in that city and you are committed to doing some kind of work which is helpful for you and for the society, or even to feed your family, or even to develop yourself. You need to pick the type of city which aligns with your goals. And there are a few cities or even countries which are helpful for you personally because they are in alignment with your goals, long term goals, and your present actions. So moving there will be a lot of helpful for you. And even if when compared with your relatives and surrounding people who are helpful for you, or people who are aligned with your values, if they are in close contact with you, then your environment will also flourish. In other words, let's say you are abandoned in a foreign location where you don't know anyone and no one knows you, and in this similar way you are having a lot of different conversations with the other people in your location where you know everyone and everyone knows you. It gives you some kind of social contact which will help you in emergency situations, while compared with this different point of views. And there is other situation like your present environment is not helpful for you to develop because it has set itself a certain ceiling, and you want to go beyond that horizons to develop yourself. In that certain situation you need to take the risk and assume responsibility, because it's your life and it's your choice, and the type of environment you live in will directly or indirectly influence your lifestyle, your work, and your progress. And after your growth and progress, and after a few years, you can obviously see the difference your choices have made in living the type of environment you live in right now. Because let's say there are a lot of opportunities in a city A, and there are a fewer opportunities, but you are spending time with your family in city B, and city A is giving you more money and city B is giving you more time to spend with your loved ones, then you have a choice. And then there is also a city C which is giving you time to travel because it is closer to city B, which in which your family lives in, and you can regularly go and check up on them. And it is also giving you more money and more opportunities like city A. In other words, you need to explore the avenues and you need to explore the future opportunities, because if you want to be selective and if you want to commit to a certain city, because you're investing a lot of time developing yourself and setting that environment, buying a house or even renting an apartment, living a few years in that city or even country or even a state, you need to be selective about the type of environment you live in, because it is directly or indirectly influencing you as mentioned before. Let's say, in other words, you need to research more and you need to have a clear base of priorities, like you need to be precise about the type of work you are doing, the type of people you are spending your time with, and after that you need to be clear about the type of environment you live in. And by combining these three aspects, your ideal lifestyle will be a lot better. And in this similar way, you need to be clear about the type of lifestyle you want to live in, so that your environment or the city or even the state, the country you live in is aligned with the type of lifestyle you want to live, so that your long term potential or even your present life reality will be more comfortable or even more supportive for you to grow into a better version. Let's say there is a butterfly and you are in just a small young stage, and you for you to develop into a butterfly and roam into other places, you need to stay in an environment which is helpful for you to transform from this early stage into a butterfly. So you need to pick the environment, because your environment is like a home, and your home will impact the way you live in, because your living conditions will drastically affect the way you are working on and your future potential and even your present focus, because environment will help you or even disturb you. In, let's say, you are working in your home, then your mother or even your father or even your wife or even any kind of your children will come regularly and they will play. And in other instance of working in office, and you're working in some kind of location where your work is prioritized and you are not getting disturbed. In both instances, there are different priorities for different locations. In the similar way, the type of city or even the type of location you live in, the type of place you live in, will have some kind of certain aura or priority for it to behave in a certain kind of way, some kind of characteristic for it to develop. And in the similar way, let's say you are picking a city which is closer to beach, then you can spend time in the beach watching the sea. If the city is closer to desert, then you can travel in desert. And if your city is closer to some kind of forest area or even zoo park, then you can spend time with in zoo park. In this similar way, you get the point, right? Your living conditions are needs to be in your control, and you need to be precise and you need to be selective about the type of city you live in, without getting distracted or without thinking things through, because instead of hastily doing or instantly focusing on the given option, you need to be take a few steps back and you need to see the bigger picture and you need to see things through, so that your city or the location you live in is really great for you.